What up, Boxing Hive? Back with another video. Please like, share, subscribe to the video. Trying to build up this platform and thanking everybody in advance for the continued support. I see I got a couple of subscribers, so shout out to you. If you leave a comment, because it's like I gotta go on a desktop version to see who the subscribers are. So if you leave a comment, I'll just follow you back, and we can continue to try to build up each other's pages or what have you. But thanks in advance. Much more to come. Just been a little hectic lately, but I'm headed to the track right now. Just trying to get into good shape, man. I've been inspired by this September 28th bout between my favorite fighter Errol Spence and Sean Porter. So I'm just trying to stick with the regimen. Been trying to run, get on a diet. I'm trying to lose a couple pounds. I'm not really out of shape like that, but I'm just trying to get in the tip-top shape, man. A lot of these dudes are around my age, late 20s, and they're in prime shape, so I'm just trying to do the same. Also, I'm gonna be at the Devin Haney fight at the Hulu Center at Madison Square Garden on September 13th. I'm gonna be there. So I'm kind of debating if I want to get my feet wet and try to do some type of live coverage and get a couple of interviews. So if any advice or any opinions on that, feel free to share. So we'll get to this video. The reason why I'm speaking about this particular topic is because I just feel like it's a fine line between trying to build a fight and trying to generate interest, and then there's a fine line between that and just general propaganda by the powers that be. And one of the main people right now, I'll say, is Timothy Bradley. Timothy Bradley's a decent fighter. He retired early, but for whatever reason, fighters, it's up to him. Nobody is gonna hold a gun to your head. If you feel like you fulfilled your career and did everything you needed to do, that's your business. I'm not in the business of trying to judge another man or woman for making a decision that was the best for them and their family. So I'm not into attacking people's personal lives or even character like that. But yeah, I just want to deal with the facts. Actually, if you want, I could unpack this whole feud right now. Well, not right now, because I'm going to run a couple miles. But like at some point, I could read the actual ins and outs of the lawsuit and things of that nature between Bob Arum, who represents Top Rank, and Al Heyman, who represents the PBC. And this stems back when Floyd Money Mayweather left Top Rank in 2006 and then fought with the PBC. And then I just would also like to point out, number one, there's been no great fighters that's had an extensive career or gotten better with Top Rank. Everybody, just a couple of names off the head. Floyd Money Mayweather, he left Top Rank, and he even said in an interview recently after the Gervonta Tank Davis fight that leaving Top Rank was the best thing he could have ever done for his career. Also, you have Manny Pacquiao. He left Top Rank, and look at him. He's gotten 2 big fights. I mean, Adrian Broner's not the best, but he's better than anybody at Top Rank, and that's even with all the losses. And then also, he just came off a big fight with Keith Thurman, which he convincingly won. It was a great fight. I think in the second half of that fight, it got a little bit more competitive. I think if Keith Thurman didn't get hit with that body shot in like the 10th round, I think he had the potential to possibly even it out. I mean, one of the judges saw it as a draw anyway. So, but anyway, just three. Oh, and then also Oscar De La Hoya. He left Top Rank and had a better career, and bossed up. So these guys. My point is, there's a feud between Top Rank and I don't even want to say a feud. I think it's just more or less Bob Arum has a problem with Al Heyman, for reasons that I could get into. I think one of the main reasons is the most obvious if you just look at the two, but I'll leave it at that. He filed a lawsuit against Al Heyman, and they settled out of court. And obviously, like most settlements, the outcome of the settlement was made confidential, so you're not going to know how much, who paid who, or whatever the case may be. But basically, in my opinion, he sued him because he did his own thing, went and formed PBC, got the best fighters, made the best fights happen, and continued to go in that direction, treated fighters fairly. You never see Al Heyman speaking in public. Just handled his business as a proper businessman who respects athletes should do. So anyway, Timothy Bradley, who I'm not sure if he's bipolar, if he's just over trying to sell the fight, I don't know. Last week, he was asked in an interview if he thought Errol Spence was ducking Terrence Bud Crawford. And he goes, yeah, he's ducking him. Yeah, he's ducking him. And then he goes on to not only say he's ducking him, but kind of ignores why PBC fighters don't fight top-ranked fighters. He just kind of glossed over that and made it just seem like, oh, it's Errol Spence ducking and all of this other stuff. And in my first video, I eloquently pointed out that, number one, Timothy Bradley, ducked Errol Spence. He retired, So then, anyway, you fast forward to yesterday after the fight, ESPN Top Rank had a fight. I didn't watch it. I was watching the UFC Daniel Cormier and whatever that other dude's name is. I forgot his name, but I watched that fight, so I didn't get to catch the ESPN card. But anyway, I saw the interviews after that, and they was asking him. He doubles back and admits that he ducked Errol Spence. He didn't just come out and say, I ducked him, but he openly said, well, yeah, at the time, PBC wasn't doing business with Top Rank, so I didn't fight him. And then he threw in the fact that why would he fight Errol Spence when he had Pacquiao in front of him? So my point is, number one, how do you get off a point the week before about the fact that, number one, there ain't no, same thing that Bud said in that DAZN interview. Oh, there's no other side of the street. Oh, it's, everybody's making this up. And then in the following week, you admit the reason, or part of the reason why you ducked Errol Spence is because they didn't do business together. What's changed since he's retired and now? What's changed? Nothing. So with that being said, I still believe that the Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fight will happen. But my point is, Timothy Bradley, like I said, I don't know if he's bipolar or what, but he's just not making too much sense. Now, if you rewind back to when the PBC, it was I can't remember that card, but it was a few weeks ago when they listed all of the champions at 147, and they didn't give any light to the WBO welterweight champion in Terrence Bud Crawford. And everybody, even Max Kellerman, he said on ESPN, all this kind of stuff. Everybody, I don't understand why PBC isn't acknowledging the WBO, and that's distasteful. Number one, if I'm Al Heyman in the PBC, why would I shed light on the WBO belt when the WBO was in conjunction with Top Rank in the lawsuit? They testified against the PBC. And like I said, I can read that article if you would like, but it's all public information. So why should why would the PBC care to shed light on number one, a fighter, and also a fighter that's currently holding a belt from the very people that sued him for no reason. That makes no sense to me, number one. And number two, I don't see how the rules applied for you to duck Errol Spence when it was your mandatory. But then, now that we fast forward a couple of years to Terrence Crawford, who you believe to be the best welterweight, and that's 50-50, like I said in my last video. But how does that rule apply and it's valid then, but then now it's not valid, and now it's just Errol Spence's fault, and nothing has changed between the PBC and Top Rank? Nothing's changed from a business perspective. So I just don't understand. Well, I understand because Timothy Bradley is one of the puppets for Top Rank, so it makes sense in that regard. But to me, you just look completely like bipolar or something, because your tune changed and then you tried to rationalize or explain why Terrence Crawford said that Errol Spence wasn't ducking him. And he said, oh, well, he can't say that because he's a businessman and he can't, talk bad about this and that. So, but I can. Come on. Come on, son. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. And unless if Bud Crawford told you that, you have no bearing on saying that. And if he did tell you that, if he's your friend and you're his mentor and all this kind of stuff, why would you disclose information that your quote-unquote friend gave you? Makes no sense to me. So again, there's a lot to unpack with this whole Top Rank and PBC feud, if that's what you want to call it. But like I said, they're gonna fight. It's just a matter of time. Errol Spence just have to keep knocking off the better fighters. He's got the tougher road, and he's gonna be the one that's gonna be the A side in the fight because he's gonna have more belts. He's about to unify this WBC and IBF belt with Sean Porter. So Errol's gonna keep doing what he's gonna do, but Timothy Bradley, you looking real shaky out here, bro. You're not making too much sense. You looking sporadic. You look like you're just, reaching for clickbait. All the above. Stay retired and just be respectable. And you didn't refute the fact that you ducked Errol Spence. Errol Spence brought that up. Well, he didn't bring it up. He was asked about it. And he said straight up, the WBC ordered him to fight as a mandatory. He chose to retire. And that's facts. So now you want to, turn around because you ducked him a couple years ago. And now you want to make it about the fact that, he's ducking him. And, well, I didn't fight him because, come on now. Come on now. Pick a side. Pick a side. Pick a side. That's all I got to say about that. But I appreciate the support. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'm thinking about going live tonight. If I get a couple views on this, I'll probably go live, and maybe I'll just read over the case that Top Rank filed against Al Heyman and the PBC. With that, peace out. Probably gonna do about maybe 2 miles. This is Sunday, so gonna keep it kind of light. Gonna do about 2 miles on the track. I got my jump rope with me. So I'm gonna do a couple laps on the track. Do some jump roping, do some abs, and I didn't bring my boxing gloves with me, so I wish I would have, because I could have just got a little bit of work in. But all right, Boxing Hive, holla at me. Till next time, peace.